Make yourself comfortable, close your eyes, and let yourself be carried away by a story from the Middle Ages. The Gentle Dawn. Awakenings in the Castle Keep Chapter 1. The Gentle Dawn. Awakenings in the castle keep as the first light of dawn began to creep over the horizon. A soft, golden hue washed over the ancient stone walls of Eldenstone Castle. Nestled atop a gently rolling hill, the castle stood proud against the backdrop of a waking world, its turrets cutting into the pale sky like the fingers of a giant reaching for the stars. Within its stout walls, silence lingered, a comforting blanket enveloping the keep as the night slowly surrendered to the promise of morning. Inside the castle's northern tower, Jasper stirred in his slumber, nestled under a heavy woolen blanket that was both warm and soft. The fabric, woven with care by the castle's seamstresses, held the scent of lavender and old wood, a fragrant reminder of the summer garden just beyond the castle walls. As he lay there, the gentle sound of the wind whispered through the narrow window, carrying with it the distant call of a lark heralding the dawn. Slowly, as if coaxed by the warming light, Jasper opened his eyes to the dim glow of early morning filtering through the panes of glass. The rays, shy yet persistent, danced across the intricately carved wooden beams of his chamber, casting delicate patterns upon the stone floor. He blinked a few times. Allowing his senses to awaken fully first came the gentle rustle from the courtyard below, where the castle's inhabitants were stirring, and then the soft crackle of embers in the fireplace, still glowing with the remnants of last night's fire. Jasper stretched languidly, feeling the satisfying pull in his limbs as he did so. He slipped out from under the comforting weight of his blanket, the cool air of the room brushing against his bare skin as he rose. The chill only served to invigorate him, and he took a moment to appreciate the serene beauty of the dawn. He padded across the cold stone floor to the window, his feet whispering against the rough surface, and drew back the heavy drapes. The outside world greeted him fields of emerald green glistening with dew, illuminated by the nascent sun. The castle gardens bloomed vibrantly, flowers swaying gently in the morning breeze like a sea of colors, deep reds, bright yellows, and soft purples blending together, an artist's palette kissed by the morning light. In the distance, the rolling hills embraced the horizon, their curves softened by the mist that clung to them like a gossamer veil. With a deep breath, Jasper inhaled the fresh, crisp air, tinged with the fragrance of damp earth and blossoming flowers. He could hear the faint trickle of the nearby brook, singing its own lullaby, a soothing melody that resonated with the quietude of the morning. A few birds flitted past, their feathers catching the sunlight, and he watched as they danced through the air, chirping cheerfully as if sharing their joy at the new day. After a moment of reverie, Jasper turned away from the window and moved to the small wash basin carved from smooth marble that stood in the corner of his room. He poured some cool water from a copper pitcher, its surface gleaming in the soft light. As he splashed the water on his face, he felt a refreshing jolt, waking him further. The water was invigorating against his skin, and he reveled in the sensation, feeling the droplets cascade down his cheeks and drip onto the counter. Once refreshed, Jasper turned to his simple yet finely crafted wardrobe, where hanging tunics and trousers were arranged with care. Today, he chose a deep blue tunic that reminded him of the clear skies of midsummer, its fabric soft against his fingers. He paired it with lighter linen trousers, perfect for the day ahead. As he dressed, he took a moment to admire the craftsmanship. Each piece was expertly sewn, a testament to the skill of those who labored within the castle's walls. With his attire complete, Jasper descended the spiral staircase that wound down from his chamber. The cool stone beneath his feet felt solid and reassuring, the walls lined with torches flickering softly, their flames casting playful shadows that danced along the corridor. The air grew warmer as he neared the great hall, the heart of Eldenstone Castle. As he stepped into the hall, the ambience shifted. The grand space was filled with the comforting aroma of freshly baked bread, mingling with the robust scent of brewing ale. Long oak tables lined the room, their surfaces polished to a warm sheen, reflecting the glow of the hearth where a fire crackled merrily, sending up tendrils of smoke that spiraled toward the high ceiling. The kitchen staff bustled about, their laughter ringing out like music, harmonious and bright. Jasper greeted them with a smile, appreciating their cheerful energy that infused the early hour with warmth. A moment later, he found himself at the long table where a loaf of bread awaited him, still steaming. He broke off a piece, its crust crackling under his fingers, revealing the soft, fluffy interior. The first bite was blissful, buttery, and warm, and he savored it, feeling the sustenance fill him. As he continued to enjoy his breakfast, Jasper glanced around the hall. Sunlight streamed through the high windows, illuminating the golden tones of the wood and the vibrant tapestries that adorned the walls, each telling tales of valor and history. The figures, caught in vibrant threads, seemed to come alive in the morning light, their stories woven into the very fabric of the castle itself. After finishing his meal, Jasper helped clear the table, sharing a few more laughs with the kitchen staff. They exchanged tales of the previous day's happenings, the kind of stories that built bonds and strengthened the atmosphere of camaraderie within the castle walls. Each shared moment was a thread woven into the tapestry of their daily lives, a reminder of the simple joys found in community. With the morning tasks complete, Jasper felt a sense of peace settle over him. He made his way outside, stepping into the courtyard bathed in the golden light of dawn. The stones were warm beneath his feet now, kissed by the sun's rays, and he breathed in the crisp air, filled with the sense of blooming flowers and rich earth. He wandered towards the garden, where wildflowers danced in the gentle breeze, their colors vivid against the backdrop of lush greenery. In the garden, bees buzzed lazily, flitting from flower to flower, while butterflies floated gracefully, showcasing their delicate wings. The soft hum of nature surrounded him, a soothing soundtrack that harmonized with the rustling leaves overhead. Jasper knelt for a moment, running his fingers through the cool soil, feeling the life that pulsed beneath the surface. He admired the careful arrangement of herbs and vegetables, which would soon flourish under the tender care of the castle's gardeners. As he meandered through the garden, Jasper took a moment to appreciate the tranquility that enveloped Eldenstone. The world around him was awakening, but here, time seemed to linger, offering a sanctuary away from the rush of life. Each sound, each sight, was a reminder of the beauty that existed in stillness, in the gentle unfolding of a new day. With the sun climbing higher, Jasper decided to take a stroll along the castle walls, where he could survey the lands stretching beyond the castle's protective embrace. The view was breathtaking, a patchwork quilt of fields and forests that rolled out before him, dotted with livestock and the occasional farmer tending to his morning chores. Each element of the landscape contributed to the peaceful tableau, a living picture that changed with the light, shifting from the muted tones of dawn to the vibrant colors of midday. Standing atop the battlements, Jasper felt the wind tousle his hair, a playful companion in this serene moment. He closed his eyes, allowing the gentle breeze to wash over him, embracing the calm that permeated the air. It was a time for reflection, for gratitude, and he breathed deeply, feeling connected to the land, to the people of the castle, and to the rhythm of life that flowed around him. As the sun climbed higher, casting long shadows across the courtyard, Jasper took one last look at the world around him, savoring the simplicity of the morning. With a heart full of peace and a spirit ready for the day, he made his way back inside the castle, ready to embrace whatever the hours ahead might bring, knowing that each moment was a gift to be cherished. Whispers of the Morning Breeze. A Stroll Through the Courtyard, Chapter 2. Whispers of the morning breeze. A stroll through the courtyard in the quiet embrace of dawn, long before the first rays of sunlight filtered through the narrow, intricately carved stone windows of the castle. Jasper awoke gently, as if awakening was part of a sacred ritual. His bed, a grand four-poster draped with heavy, deep green velvet curtains, was a sanctuary of warmth and comfort. Thick straw-stuffed mattresses, topped with soft feather pillows and woven blankets embroidered with delicate patterns, cradled him softly. Beyond the curtains, The castle was still wrapped in a silent, sleepy hush, awaiting the subtle awakening of the day. Jasper stirred gradually, alert to the subtle symphony of sounds that heralded morning. The faint chorus of birds beginning their first melodies, the whispering rustle of leaves stirred by the gentle breeze, and the distant, soothing flow of the castle's small fountain. His eyelids fluttered open slowly, revealing eyes the color of softened amber. He lay for a moment, taking deep, calming breaths, feeling the coolness of the air that seeped beneath the heavy fabric of his nightshirt, the scent of fresh linen mingling with the sweet aroma of blooming herbs that grew in the castle's garden. As he sat up, Jasper stretched with deliberate, slow movements, his arms reaching above his head, fingers splaying like the delicate petals of the roses in the royal gardens. His limbs felt warm and loose from sleep, and the crisp early morning air caressed his skin. He swung his legs over the side of the bed gently, the soft scrape of his slippers against the flagstone floor echoing quietly within the chamber. He paused for a moment, feet flat on the cool stone, and looked out beyond his chamber's narrow window. The sky was softly tinged with a gentle pink hue, a promise of the sun's eventual rise. For now, the world seemed wrapped in a silken shroud of calm, awaiting the day's gentle unfolding. Jasper moved carefully, the wooden soles of his slippers barely making a sound as he approached his chamber door. He opened it with a slow, deliberate motion, mindful of the stillness that surrounded him. Beyond, the corridor was silent, bathed in the muted glow of stone lanterns not yet lit, their polished surfaces gleaming faintly in the morning light. He made his way through the silent halls, passing by the tapestries that told stories of noble hunts and heroic deeds, their vibrant threads shimmering softly in the dim glow. The air here was cool and pure, carrying faint fragrances of aged wood, waxed furniture, and the subtle scent of lavender that was kept in small porcelain jars to freshen the air. Reaching the great wooden staircase, Jasper descended slowly, the steps creaking softly beneath him, like a gentle reminder of time, passing quietly. When he arrived at the grand hall, the first warmth of morning drifted in through the high, arched windows, casting long, intricate shadows across the flagstones. The hall was empty now, except for the faint, flickering reflection of the castle's large, ornate chandeliers that hung from the distant vaulted ceiling. From the hall, Jasper proceeded toward the castle's courtyard, a tranquil oasis nestled within stone walls, covered partly with ivy and blooming jasmine. The courtyard was a place of peace and gentle activity and open space, where the castle's inhabitants found moments of respite and serenity in the earliest hours. The bronze gate, set with delicate filigree and a small latch that gleamed in the morning light, swung open with a quiet squeak as Jasper pushed it gently. Outside, the air was filled with a symphony of new beginnings, the delicate chorus of songbirds, the faint hum of bees visiting the early bloomers, and the whispering of the breeze through the leaves. The courtyard was a masterpiece of careful design and natural beauty, paved in smooth stones arranged in flowing patterns that mimicked the gentle curves of rivers and meandering paths. Around its perimeter, flowering shrubs and tall, ancient oak trees created a cozy sanctuary, their leaves fluttering softly as if whispering secrets to each other. Bright tulips, cheerful daisies, and fragrant lavender lined the edges, filling the air with sweet scents that danced softly with the breeze. Jasper's bare feet felt the coolness of the stones beneath him, grounding him as he stepped onto the cobbled surface. He paused to take it all in a peaceful symphony of sights, sounds, and scents. He inhaled slowly, the scent of freshly turned earth mingling with the aroma of blooming roses and honeysuckle, evoking a sense of calm that settled within him like a gentle lullaby. As he wandered farther into the courtyard, Jasper's gaze was drawn upward toward the lazy drift of clouds overhead, cotton white puffs, tinged with the soft blush of sunrise. High above, the banners hanging from the battlements fluttered very lightly in the breeze, their colors subdued and harmonious deep crimson, emerald green, and golden yellow whispering stories of noble houses and ancient alliances. Near a small fountain carved from polished marble and topped with a simple stone basin, the surface reflected the awakening Skaya mirror of light and shadow. The gentle trickle of water was a soothing lullaby, soft and persistent. Jasper stepped softly alongside, reveling in the coolness of the stone under his fingertips as he brushed his hand across the fountain's edge. He paused beside a well-worn bench carved from dark oak, its surface smoothed by generations of visitors who had rested here before him. The bench faced the fountain, an opened view of a lush garden, where vines and trees intertwined in a natural dance. He took a seat, his hands resting on his knees, feeling the faint tremor of life's pulse in the quiet hum of nature all around. The melodies of songbirds grew richer: finches, sparrows, and the occasional thrush, each heralding the new day with eager chirping. Their voices wove a delicate tapestry of sound, gentle and uplifting, filling Jasper's ears with calm and reassurance. Somewhere nearby, the soft flutter of butterfly wings added a whisper of grace as they moved from flower to flower, pausing briefly as if to enjoy the warm, golden light. He closed his eyes for a moment, leaning back into the serenity of the scene. The sun had risen higher now, just beginning to cast a golden glow that bathed the courtyard in gentle warmth. The light danced across the leaves, creating shimmering patches of sunlight that flickered and played like tiny, friendly spirits. In that enchanted glow, the air was infused with the tender, earthy aroma of dew-kissed grass and blooming herbs: sage, thyme, and rosemary, and the faint scent of honey from nearby beehives. From this peaceful vantage point, Jasper was aware of the subtle sounds: a distant quail calling softly from the thicket, the faint hum of a mason bee gathering nectar, and the whisper of grass as it swayed gently in the breeze. It was all a symphony of tranquility, an ode to the quiet beauty of morning. As the gentle dawn unfurled further, a sense of perfect harmony settled over Jasper like a warm shawl. Here, in this secret corner of the castle's realm, time moved slowly, measured by the rhythmic cadence of nature's gentle awakening. The paradise of the courtyard, steeped in the soft glow of early light and the soothing whispers of wind and water, promised serenity and gentle repose. With a contented sigh, Jasper rose from the bench, feeling refreshed, his spirit calmed by the pristine purity of the morning. Though the day awaited beyond the castle's stone walls busy and full of duties, he knew that moments such as these, in the hush of dawn's first light and the whispering breeze, were treasures to be cherished. In the heart of the peaceful courtyard, his soul found a tranquil respite, a delicate whisper of the universe's quiet love. And so, with the soft, lingering melodies of morning swirling in his mind, Jasper continued his gentle stroll, ready to carry the calm of dawn within him as he prepared to face the day with gentle strength and peaceful heart. A feast for the senses. The breakfast banquet in the Great Hall, Chapter 3. A feast for the senses. The breakfast banquet in the Great Hall, as the first rays of dawn filtered through the high, arched windows of Castle Eldergrove, a gentle warmth began to envelop the Great Hall. The vast chamber, with its stone walls adorned in rich tapestries depicting great battles and legendary feasts, stirred slowly to life. The air was thick with anticipation, filled with the sense of morning that wafted like a soft breeze through the open windows, mingling with the fragrant aroma of firewood crackling softly in the grand hearth. Jasper, a young squire, awoke in his modest chamber just off the great hall. The soft light of the morning sun peeked through the mullioned glass, casting delicate patterns on the worn wooden floor. As he stretched and shook off the remnants of sleep, he could already hear the distant sounds of clattering pots and the lively chatter of servants preparing for the day's first meal. A smile crept across his face as he imagined the delights that awaited him. He dressed in a simple linen tunic, the fabric cool against his skin, and laced up his sturdy leather boots. Jasper made his way down the winding stone staircase, each step echoing in the vastness of the castle. The scent of freshly baked bread wafted through the air, stronger now, guiding him towards the heart of the castle, the Great Hall. Entering the hall, Jasper felt the familiar embrace of warmth. The massive hearth at one end blazed with a cheerful fire, its flames dancing and crackling, sending flickers of light around the room. The long, wooden table stretched before him, its polished surface gleaming in the sunlight streaming through the windows. Atop the table, an array of dishes awaited, each one a feast for the senses. The sight was mesmerizing. Platters piled high with golden brown loaves of bread, their crusts crackling and warm, beckoned invitingly. Jasper could almost hear the gentle whisper of steam escaping from the loaves as they cooled. Beside the bread sat bowls brimming with honey, glistening in the light like liquid gold, and jars of sweet preserves bursting with vibrant colors: ruby red strawberries, deep purple plums, and luscious peaches. Each jar was topped with a cloth, neatly tied with twine, preserving the essence of summer fruit. As he approached the table, the sound of clinking silverware and the murmur of voices created a harmonious backdrop. Servants scurried about, their laughter ringing out like music in the hall, as they filled goblets with freshly churned butter and creamy cheeses, their textures rich and inviting. The air was thick with the scent of herbs, sage, thyme, and rosemary mingling delightfully with the aroma of cooked meats. Jasper's stomach rumbled softly in response, eager for the banquet that lay before him. At one end of the table, platters of roasted meats glistened under the careful attention of the cooks. A whole roasted duck, its skin crispy and golden, sat regally atop a bed of herbs, while nearby, slices of tender pork, seasoned with spices and garnished with sprigs of parsley, awaited eager hands. The rich, savory scents intertwined with the sweetness of the fruit preserves, creating an enticing blend that stirred Jasper's appetite even further. "Good morning, young squire," boomed the voice of Sir Cedric, the knight who often regaled the castle with tales of valor. He was seated at the head of the table, his plate already piled high with food. "Come, join us. There is plenty to be had." His hearty laugh echoed warmly in the hall, drawing Jasper closer. "Thank you, Sir Cedric," Jasper replied with a smile, feeling a sense of belonging wash over him. He took a seat at the long table, the smooth wood cool beneath his fingertips. The warmth of the fire danced in his cheeks as he surveyed the spread before him, his eyes wide with wonder. Across from him sat Lady Aloan, her presence like a gentle breeze in the hall. She smiled at him, her golden hair catching the light like spun sunlight. "Have you tried the honey this morning?" she asked, gesturing to the jar beside her. "It is truly divine on warm bread." With a nod, Jasper reached for a piece of the fresh loaf, still steaming from the oven, and dipped it into the honey. As he brought it to his lips, the sweet, sticky nectar melted on his tongue, the flavors exploding like the first blooms of spring. He sighed contentedly, savoring the moment, the world outside forgotten in the bliss of indulgence. Around them, the hall continued to fill with the laughter and chatter of the household. Children dashed in and out, their playful voices mingling with the clatter of dishes and the rustle of linens. The atmosphere was alive with joy, a community gathered to share not just a meal, but moments of togetherness. Jasper's attention shifted to the flanking tables, where several young pages sat, their faces alight with excitement as they exchanged stories of the previous day's adventures. One boy, with wild curls and a mischievous grin, animatedly recounted a tale of a daring escape from the castle's training grounds, his hands flying through the air to emphasize every thrilling detail. "Did you see how he nearly fell into the moat?" Another page laughed, his eyes sparkling with mischief. The camaraderie of youth filled the hall, a delightful reminder of the bonds formed within these castle walls. As breakfast progressed, Jasper indulged in a medley of flavors. He tasted the rich porridge, its creamy texture offset by a sprinkle of cinnamon and a drizzle of honey. He sampled the cheeses, sharp and tangy, paired beautifully with slices of apple that crunched delightfully between his teeth. With each bite, he felt more connected to the life of the castle, each flavor telling a story of shared labor and love. The serving maids moved gracefully among the tables, balancing trays of fresh fruits-crisp apples, succulent pears, and ripe figs, offering them to anyone who might desire a taste of nature's bounty. In the corner of the hall, a small group of musicians began to play a soft melody on lutes and flutes, their notes floating effortlessly through the air, weaving a tapestry of sound that complemented the joyous morning. As the meal drew to a close, Jasper felt a sense of fulfillment settling within him, a contentment that transcended mere hunger. The warmth of the hearth, the laughter of friends, and the richness of the food all blended together into a perfect moment. He leaned back in his chair, savoring the last morsels of bread and cheese, his heart full. Another fine feast, wouldn't he, you say? Sir Cedric raised his goblet in a toast, his voice booming above the gentle strains of music. Here's to the warmth of friendship and the bounty of our land. The hall erupted in cheers, and Jasper lifted his own goblet, filled with crisp apple cider, raising it high with the others. He felt a swell of happiness as he joined in the chorus of well wishes, a part of something greater than himself. The great hall of Castle Eldergrove was not just a place of stone and timber. It was a sanctuary of shared moments, a tapestry woven from the threads of laughter, love, and life itself. As the last echoes of the morning banquet lingered in the air, Jasper gazed around the great hall, taking in the sights and sounds that surrounded him. The sun continued to rise, casting a golden hue upon the stone, illuminating the lives within. Here, amidst the feasting and fellowship, Jasper found peace a perfect start to a new day in the medieval castle he called home. Sunlight and shadows. Quiet moments in the castle gardens, Chapter 4. Sunlight and shadows. Quiet moments in the castle gardens as the first light of dawn crept over the sprawling hills surrounding Eldermere Castle. The world began to awaken from its slumber. The sun, a golden orb, rose slowly in the eastern sky, bathing the landscape in a soft, warm glow that brushed against the stone walls of the castle like a gentle caress. Inside the castle, a peaceful stillness lingered, broken only by the distant calls of birds, heralding the arrival of a new day. Jasper, a young squire with tousled dark hair and a heart full of dreams, stirred in his chamber high within the castle's towers. The air was cool and crisp, carrying the faint scent of dew-drenched grass and blooming flowers wafting through the small window that overlooked the castle gardens. He stretched his arms wide, feeling the slight stiffness in his muscles dissipate as he inhaled deeply, filling his lungs with the fresh morning air that poured in like sweet nectar. Rising from the warmth of his straw-filled mattress, Jasper slipped on a simple tunic made of coarse linen, its earthy tones mirroring the colors of the land outside. He padded softly across the cold stone floor, his bare feet silent against the rough surface, to the window where he paused for a moment. His eyes drank in the sight below an expanse of vibrant greenery, the gardens of Eldermere stretching out like a lush tapestry, woven with the colors of nature. The gardens were a sanctuary, a haven of tranquility nestled within the castle walls. As he gazed down, Jasper could see the sun's rays filtering through the trees, casting dappled shadows on the ground, as if the earth wore a cloak of shifting patterns. The tall, sturdy oaks stood sentinel at the borders, their leaves rustling gently in the morning breeze like whispers of ancient secrets. Closer to the castle, delicate rose bushes bloomed in an array of colors: deep crimson, soft pink, and pure white, each petal glistening with beads of dew like tiny jewels adorning nature's crown. With a sense of eager anticipation, Jasper descended the winding staircase that spiraled down to the lower levels of the castle. The thick stone walls held onto the coolness of the night, and the flickering torches cast dancing shadows that flickered like fireflies, illuminating the way as he made his descent. The sounds of the castle began to awaken, the faint clatter of pots and pans from the kitchens, the soft murmur of servants preparing for the day, and the occasional low growl of the hounds stirring in their kennels added a symphony of gentle noise to this serene morning. Reaching the heavy wooden door that led to the gardens, Jasper paused, placing a hand on the cool iron handle. He took a moment, breathing in the scents wafting through the crack. The heady aroma of jasmine intertwined with the fresh scent of rosemary and thyme, creating a fragrant melody that promised a day filled with beauty and peace. He pushed the door open, and it creaked softly, revealing the vibrant garden beyond. Stepping into the garden, Jasper was enveloped by a symphony of colors and sounds. The sunlight poured in, warming his skin and illuminating the intricate designs of flowers and flora that danced around him. Here, amidst the gentle hum of bees buzzing lazily from blossom to blossom, time seemed to stand still. The air was alive with the sounds of nature, waking up birds chirping cheerfully in the branches above, the rustle of small creatures hiding in the underbrush, and the soft whisper of the wind as it played with the leaves. Jasper wandered deeper into the garden, his feet brushing against the soft, dewy grass that carpeted the ground. Each step felt like a connection to the earth, grounding him in the moment. He knelt beside a patch of violets, their delicate purple petals swaying gently in the breeze, and reached out to touch one. Its velvety softness brought a smile to his face, reminding him of the simple pleasures found in nature's embrace. As he continued his stroll, Jasper noticed the ancient stone fountain at the center of the garden, its weathered surface adorned with moss and climbing ivy. The fountain gurgled softly, water cascading over the rocks in a gentle flow that sparkled in the sunlight. He approached, drawn by the soothing sound, and leaned over the edge to watch the water dance and shimmer. Tiny fish darted beneath the surface, their scales glinting like silver coins in the bright light. Nearby, a patch of lavender caught his eye, its tall stalks swaying gracefully. Jasper moved closer, drinking in the sweet, calming fragrance that enveloped him like a comforting blanket. He closed his eyes for a moment, letting the scent transport him to a place of peace and tranquility. Memories of laughter shared with friends in this very garden flooded his mind, moments of carefree joy spent amidst the blooms. As the sun climbed higher, Jasper decided to find a quiet spot to sit and reflect. He wandered toward the arched wooden bench shaded by a sprawling weeping willow. The tree's long, trailing branches created a natural curtain, offering seclusion and serenity. He settled onto the bench, allowing the soft moss that covered the wood to cradle him comfortably. Leaning back, he closed his eyes again, listening to the symphony of nature, the birds' cheerful songs, the rustling leaves, and the gentle trickle of the fountain. In this tranquil moment, Jasper felt a deep sense of gratitude wash over him. His heart swelled with appreciation for the beauty that surrounded him, for the chance to witness such splendor in the simplicity of a morning routine. He thought of his dreams, of the adventures that awaited him, and of the friendships he cherished. This garden, with its vibrant colors and soothing sounds, felt like a sacred space where he could recharge his spirit. A gentle breeze swept through the garden, rustling the leaves of the willow and sending ripples through the surface of the fountain. It carried with it the faintest hint of morning mist, which danced like wisps of cotton candy, swirling playfully before dissipating into the warm sunlight. Jasper opened his eyes and watched the ethereal display, feeling as if he were part of something much larger, a tapestry woven with threads of life and nature. After a while, the sun reached its zenith, casting a warm, golden light over the garden. Jasper reluctantly stood and stretched his limbs, feeling invigorated and ready to embrace the day ahead. He took a final glance around the garden, committing the beauty of the moment to memory, the vibrant hues of the flowers, the gentle sway of the branches, and the soft sounds of life awakening. As he walked back towards the castle, Jasper carried the garden within him, a pocket of peace and serenity that would sustain him through the bustling hours that lay ahead. The castle would soon be alive with the sounds of activity, but for now, he had found solace among the blooms, a reminder that even amidst the clamor of life, moments of quiet beauty could always be found. With a heart full of joy and a spirit renewed, Jasper stepped through the heavy wooden door, leaving behind the tranquil sanctuary of the garden, but carrying its essence with him as he prepared to meet the day. Preparing for the day. Jasper's Rituals of Armor and Grace, Chapter 5. preparing for the day. Jasper's rituals of armor and grace as dawn broke over the medieval castle of Eldergrove. A soft, golden light filtered through the narrow, leaded glass windows, casting intricate patterns of warmth across the stone walls. The air was still cool, carrying with it the earthy scent of dew-kissed grass mingled with the faint aroma of wood smoke from the kitchens below. In his chamber, located in the tallest tower of the castle, Sir Jasper stirred beneath a warm, woolen blanket, the gentle rustle of fabric the only sound breaking the tranquility of the morning. With a slow, deliberate motion, Jasper blinked his eyes open, allowing them to adjust to the gentle light that filled the room. He stretched, feeling the comforting weight of his body uncoil from sleep. The chamber was adorned with rich tapestries depicting scenes of valor and beauty, their colors muted, yet vibrant in the morning glow. A small hearth crackled quietly in the corner, embers glowing red and orange, promising warmth as the day grew brighter. Rising from his slumber, Jasper padded over to the window, his bare feet whispering against the cool stone floor. Pushing aside the heavy velvet drapery, he gazed out over the sprawling landscape that unfolded before him. Beyond the castle walls lay lush green fields, dotted with wildflowers that swayed gently in the breeze, while the distant hills were draped in a soft mist, creating an ethereal scene. Birds chirped merrily from their perches, a symphony of nature welcoming the dawn. Jasper inhaled deeply, filling his lungs with the crisp morning air, laced with the scent of pine and earth. The world was waking, and so too was he. With purpose in his heart, he turned back to his chamber, ready to begin his morning rituals. First, he approached the intricately carved wooden wash basin that stood upon a sturdy oak table. The basin, lined with fine ceramic, held fresh water brought up from the castle well by the diligent servants before the break of dawn. Jasper dipped his hands into the cool liquid, splashing it over his face, feeling the refreshing droplets awaken his senses. He took a cloth, soft and linen, and gently dried his face, appreciating the texture against his skin. Next, Jasper moved to his wardrobe, a magnificent piece crafted from dark mahogany, its doors embellished with wrought iron fittings. As he opened the cabinet, a rich scent of cedar wafted out, mingling with the fresh air. Inside hung garments of various hues, tunics of deep blues and greens embroidered with silver threads, loose trousers, and sturdy leather boots. He chose a tunic of a soft, dusty blue, its fabric light enough to allow freedom of movement while still appearing noble. Draping the tunic over his shoulders, he felt the fabric settle comfortably against him. He fastened it with a simple leather belt, the buckle cool against his palm as he adjusted it just right. Next, Jasper slipped into his trousers, the sturdy material providing both comfort and protection for the day ahead. He then laced up his leather boots, the familiar sound of the eyelets coming together a soothing rhythm as he prepared for what lay beyond the castle walls. Once dressed, Jasper approached his mirror, a polished piece of glass framed in ornate gold leaf. He studied his reflection, noting the tousled strands of brown hair that fell across his forehead. With a gentle comb made of polished bone, he swept his hair back, each stroke deliberate and calming. As he worked, he could hear the faint sounds of life stirring outside the castle, the clanging of pots in the kitchen, the distant whinnies of horses in the stables, and the laughter of children playing in the courtyard. With his hair neatly arranged, Jasper turned his attention to his armor, which awaited him on a nearby stand. Each piece gleamed softly in the morning light, a testament to the craftsmanship of the blacksmith. The breastplate, embossed with intricate designs of mythical creatures, seemed to pulse with stories of battles fought and won. He approached it reverently, recalling how his father had once told him that donning one's armor was not merely a physical act, but a mental preparation for the day's challenges. He lifted the breastplate, feeling its weight in his hands, grounding him to the moment. He placed it over his tunic, adjusting the fit until it rested comfortably against his chest, the cold metal warming gradually against his body. Next came the gauntlets, their polished surfaces catching the light as he slid his hands inside, the leather lining soft against his skin. The sensation was both reassuring and empowering. He felt a connection to those who had worn this armor before him. As he continued to dress, he attached the greaves to his shins, fastening them securely above his boots. The slight clang of metal resonated in the quiet of the chamber, reminding him of the strength and resilience required of a knight. Finally, he donned his helmet, a piece adorned with a crest that represented his family's lineage. As he secured it atop his head, he felt an overwhelming sense of pride and duty wash over him. Fully clad in armor, Jasper took a moment to admire himself in the mirror. The reflection staring back at him was a vision of nobility and grace. He adjusted the straps of his armor, ensuring everything was secure, and felt a surge of confidence. Yet, he knew that while the armor protected him physically, it was his heart and mind that would guide him through the day. Before leaving his chamber, Jasper paused to gather his thoughts. He closed his eyes briefly and took a deep breath, centering himself for whatever the day might bring. He envisioned the tasks ahead: training with the other knights, attending to matters of the castle, and perhaps visiting the village to check on his people. Each thought swirled gently in his mind, creating a tapestry of responsibility and care. Stepping out of his chamber, Jasper descended the spiral staircase that wound down the tower, the sound of his armored boots echoing softly against the stone. As he reached the ground floor, the scent of freshly baked bread wafted through the air, mingling with the savory aroma of porridge simmering in the kitchen. His stomach grumbled softly, a reminder that even nights required sustenance. The great hall awaited him, its high ceilings and grand beams lending an air of majesty to the space. Long tables were set with wooden platters, overflowing with food prepared by the castle's cooks. As he entered, the chatter of fellow knights and staff filled the room, creating a warm and inviting atmosphere. Jasper greeted those around him with nods and smiles, feeling the camaraderie that thrived within these ancient walls. He took his place at the head of the table, where a generous breakfast awaited him: slices of warm, crusty bread, butter, honey, and a steaming bowl of porridge topped with fresh berries. Each bite was a delight, nourishing him not only for the day ahead, but also reminding him of the love and care that went into every meal prepared within the castle. As he savored his breakfast, the conversation flowed around him like a gentle stream, the voices a calming backdrop to the quiet joy of the morning. Jasper listened intently, enjoying the tales shared by his fellow knights, the laughter that erupted spontaneously, and the stories of valor that wove through their discussions. After the meal, Jasper rose, feeling revitalized and ready to face the day. He extended his gratitude to the kitchen staff and made his way back towards the courtyard, where the sun now hung higher in the sky, casting a golden hue over the castle grounds. The clattering of hooves and the cheerful barks of dogs greeted him as he stepped outside, embracing the promise of a new day filled with possibilities. As he walked, the sun warmed his face, and he breathed in the fragrant air, his heart filled with peace and purpose. Each step was a reminder of the rituals that bound him to his role as a knight and protector of Eldergrove, a journey marked by grace, strength, and unwavering dedication. And so, with the world awakening around him, Jasper was ready to embrace whatever lay ahead, armed not just with armor, but with the spirit of a true knight.